folks, here we go, edge highlighting. So we're going to carry on with the Sergeant from the Conquest magazines. Edge highlighting with, edge highlighting as opposed to dry brushing. Slightly more complicated technique. Like I said in the dry brushing video, dry brushing could be seen as a bit of a newbie thing to do. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a newbie thing to do myself. I enjoy doing it. It's nice and quick, it's nice and simple, especially with rank and file troops. But edge highlighting, makes it pop. So let's not ramble on this one. Let's get cracking, shall we? Come on. So we're going to start edge highlighting this guy with Calgar Blue, which is a layer paint from Citadel. And I've got the starter brush here, as I've been trying to use in as many of these videos. Give the paint a good shake as always. And pop some on the palette. I think you can see I'm still using the lid as my palette, and we thin it down as always. Give it a nice thinning, and then I twist the brush. You see I'm dragging the paint along, twisting the brush, trying to get an absolute as fine a point on that brush as possible, because you need absolute control. You need to brace the model as best as you possibly can, and we're looking for all of the edges of all of the detail, and we're going to highlight with a lighter blue, and that's where the term edge highlighting comes from, of course. Take this slow. If this is the way you want to paint your miniatures, and by all means it can give you a fantastic result, but you need to go as slow as possible. There is no way to rush this. You need absolute control, and quite frankly that brush is no good. So I'm going to try this one. This is a Cotman, so this was a 1-up from the Citadel starter brush. It's a couple of pound a piece. I'm using the size 00 here, and again I'm trying to get an absolute finer point on this brush as I possibly can, but it's a bit difficult because the hairs are split. So I've just grabbed another one to see if I can get a better result with this. You really do need as fine a point as absolutely possible, because you need those lines as thin as possible. Basically, the thicker the lines are, the less it works, and even the Cotman wasn't good enough for me to get a decent result for you, to show you how this technique works. So I've had to use my Series 7. Comes with practice. Some people are perfectly fine using the Cotmans, some people are perfectly fine using Citadel, but I want to give you the best result possible. And the way to do this, one of the things to remember is, as we're going around all these tiny little details, including, as you can see, those tiny little squares, we go around the very edge of those and around on the inside of those as well. And the best way to work this out about whether you're doing it right is the tip of the brush. If you watch the tip of the brush as the video slows down again, the tip of the brush does not bend. If you watch it, don't forget we're going around this edge here. This is a bit of detail. This is a change of direction, so we're going to paint along it. And if you see the tip of the brush, it doesn't bend. The more the tip of the brush bends, the thicker the line is going to be. So you really do just want to touch the model with the paint. In this part of the video I'm literally only going to do half of it, because it does take a long time to edge highlight, but the result is pretty good for it. So as you can see, we're just going around his arm here, which is the final detail of this half of the model, and then I will do the other half and then come back with the next part. So we're going along that plate that goes along the back of his hand, but we don't forget to do the fingers as well, and all the joints on his fingers. Every tiny detail you can. And here we are, the first half of the model is highlighted, and you can see that it does make it pop from this side, and when you compare it with the other side, you can see that you do get those highlights. So I will do the other half of this model and then move on to the other colour. So there he is, edge highlighted with the Calgar blue. And you see I've done the whole thing now. Every single edge and detail has been highlighted. And so we move on to the next highlight, which is Fenrisian Grey. And this is going to be applied rather sparingly, to be honest. So we still need to thin our paints as normal. And so you see here, he's just out of shot, so I'll bring him back. We're not covering everything we just did. We need to use it sparingly on where the light is going to hit on the model the most. So for argument's sake, at the front here, and on these very sharp edges of the model. Anywhere there's a clear, acute angle of like 90 degrees or less is quite handy. But also around this, we're just at the bottom of his chest plate here, where we went round with the Calgar blue, we just catch just towards the bottom. And we've got plenty of other details around the model that stick out quite nicely, like these guards here along the top of the knee pad. Just very, very gently. Again, we're not letting the paintbrush tip bend. You've got to keep it as straight as possible. It will bend ever so slightly, but try and keep it as straight as possible. We don't go around all the fingers doing it this way, doing the edge highlighting here. We just along the top there, his elbow, and just around the rest of the model, and give it one look over. One thing I missed just here is round the back here at the base. Just catch the edges along there, where the light is just going to catch just at the bottom. As you can see, we're not going over the entire model, we're just catching some of those corners, and that's pretty much all it is. That's use it sparingly, and here we have him finished, and that's the edge highlighting. Basically, it takes a little while to get it looking right, but on the whole, it's pretty good. So let's close this down. And there he is, all done. So if I bring him up here, is he going to focus? Yes, he is. There we go. Look at that. Alright, I'm quite happy with that. Makes it pop. And yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see the back of him. Is he going to focus? Come on, get into focus. Sometimes I think I might need to do a there we go. Is he there we go. I think what I need to do is I need to set up another camera with a really nice shot of this. But yeah, edge highlighting. I mean, it's a fantastic way of painting your miniatures that perhaps have more importance on the tabletop. Perhaps you want to make some time to do your HQs, perhaps, and your characters. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Yeah, your HQs and that sort of stuff, things that you really want to stand out. Maybe dry brush your rank and file troops, things that you got dozens of these things on the tabletop and you got loads of them and you just want to get through them. Whole squads of 10 guys, you dry brush it, highlight it, done and dusted. But perhaps your HQs and things like your psychers and stuff, which you might get to in the Conquest magazine. I don't actually know if there's going to be a psyker. I know there's going to be a apothecary in there, and possibly a chaplain as well. Anyway, yeah, your HQs and things like that, your important guys and your big guys, you might want to give them a highlight. I do apologise, I really do apologise. I happened to use my expensive brush in this video. I really couldn't get to grips with this, with the starter brush to try and get that really fine point that you need. I do want to keep this as accessible as possible, so me needing to use my expensive brush, I'm worried that it makes it seem like you need to have expensive brush to do it, but it's not that a case of that. This is what I keep talking about with it being a very personal choice. I get on well with the Series 7 brushes. There's no way around it. There are some things I can do with the cheaper brushes. You know, base coating, the shading, I managed to do alright with this guy, and then tidying up afterwards. Even though, you know, when you saw me doing the shading on the dry brush guy, I could do it much simpler. Because I'm used to those brushes, but it is in no means me telling you that you have to go out and buy expensive brushes for you to do these techniques. You just get to grips with them, and like I said, you know, maybe go out and try these new brushes. I said when I told you about these Series 7's brushes in my basics tools, which I'll link there. I said they were about 50 quid for their box. You could buy these brushes individually, for argument's sake. If you wanted to try a Series 7 brush, they cost between like £7 to £10 each. They're not cheap. You could try them. I did try the Cotman brush. You saw that I did. The Cotmans, they are cheaper, but you know, when they're brand new, they will behave much like this, and the more you look after them, the longer they'll last. So rather than going out and spending £7 to £10 on a single brush, I think these Cotman brushes are anywhere from about £2 to £5 each. And you know, the Citadel brushes, you know, they're shade layer brushes, again, they're about £5 each. If you can get the starter brush, wherever I put it, the starter brush to work for you, then brilliant. And you know, have a go at it and see what you think. When you've done it, feel free, if you're using Conquest magazine models, feel free, jump on my Facebook page. The link, along with all of my other social media, is down there. Feel free to post your model on that page, and hashtag it B of OPS Conquest. Let me see it, and I'd love to see how you guys at home are painting your Conquest models, whether you're a pro painter, whether you're a commission painter, whether you're a veteran to the hobby, or if you're a brand new painter. You know, throw those pictures up there, let's have a look at them. Or you could do it on Instagram as well. You know, use the same hashtag, but if you do post it on your Instagram and use that hashtag, just let me know you've done it, and then I can check it out as well. Alright? And your picture, if you're willing, will be on. We could do a showcase on a Monday night to show how people are getting on with this magazine. I think it would be fantastic to do that. But you know, feel free. If you don't want me to use your picture, you know, just let me know that you don't want it to be used, and you just want to post it and, you know, let me have a look at it, and you don't want it to go onto a video. You know, just let me know. But other than that, yeah, I mean, that's Edge Highlighting. Bit of a ramble. I might do a separate video actually asking about the Conquest magazine models. So keep your eyes out for that. I'll get on with that in a short while. But Edge Highlighting, it's a little bit more complicated than dry brushing, but you know, it can give you a really nice result. So same as the dry brushing guy, we're moving on now from techniques. We've done basing, we've done shading, we've done highlighting. Those three techniques pretty much are universal for every single part of a model that you're going to be painting. It's just in varying degrees of size, speed. Yeah, I think, yeah, just varying degrees of the various techniques. So there are other techniques, of course. We can do things like, you know, over brushing, blending, glazing, and all that sort of thing we could cover further in the future. But for these first few videos, I just wanted to get you those basic techniques. And with that being said, I've been practicing with this guy. When it focuses, is it going to focus? Or maybe I should leave it out of focus anyway to give you a nice little. There we go. yeah, this guy. I've been practicing with this guy. This is one of the Death Guard Terminators from the Conquest magazine. Some of you have already seen a picture on my Facebook about this guy. I've just been doing it, basing, shading and dry brushing. That's pretty much all I've done. I haven't even edge highlighted that guy. It's all been dry brushing, shading, and that's how you do it. I will be doing, don't worry, I will be doing a tutorial on how I paint my Death Guard. I've just never painted Death Guard before, so I wanted to give it a go before I went out there with my technique. And don't forget, on the Monday night shows, we will still be doing the painting just like the Conquest magazine. So keep an eye out for those as well. And those will be done live, so you can ask questions while I'm at it. So yeah, that's that. So yeah, feel free. Click the subscribe button if you want to see more. Don't forget to hit the bell button next to it, that side, if you don't want to miss any, because you'll get notified every time I post a video. And my links of Facebook and all that sort of stuff, they're all down there. And if you want to help support the channel and maybe in the future see some bigger models and different models that I don't, have, feel free to just check out the Patreon page if you want, from as little as $1 a month. So yeah, but feel free, peruse those at your leisure, of course. And I'll say thank you for watching this one, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-ra.